my brother. And so, PJ Breed, he did his own thing. Yeah, with the, his video. And so I said, okay, well, when I get a chance to sort out my footage, I'm gonna do something with it. This ain't got it. But I haven't got a chance to do that yet. Cause I've been, man. If you follow me, how do you follow me on Instagram? What social media you follow?
I'm Instagram. I got you on Facebook. I don't probably do too much YouTube on it.
Okay.
But I watch it, you know, the gram and your page on Facebook.
Yeah. So if you've seen that, you've seen what I've been up to. Yeah. The YouTube is lagging severely behind of what's going on in actual real time. Usually, I'll throw it on YouTube first, and then I'll put snippets of it on Instagram. But since I went on this trip and then I had a computer failure, my video stopped at video 154. I was all the way up to 200 and saved videos for bikes because I was filming it on here, and I would show you all little details of it as I'm doing things, what I want to show. And so from there, when I accidentally restored the hard drive where everything was at, that's through the whole world of turmoil, or how I was doing. And so before we left on that trip, I was recovering that stuff, but it didn't put it back in order to where it was. So I found myself having to dig through it, find out what pictures associate with which bike, and that just stops the whole halt. Yeah, it's time.
It's time.
And so it was just, man. And so now I started with interviews the other day. OG pulled up on me, or I've been known for years. He came up on his scooter, a little scooter with a little flag on the back. And JW I knew for, shoot, at least he knew my mother before I was born. So I was like, he said, hey, mention mom at this college up here, Robin. I'm like, bruh, you got a story to tell. Let me ask some questions, you know. And so it's a part 5 series of conversations with him that I just started putting on YouTube. I know people are going, Rob, you going to interviews now? No more bikes? And I interviewed my brother Cap, and my soul brother, not my brother, but my peoples, and we've been people forever, co-defendants the whole 9. And he just rode to Arkansas first time that far. And he was like, Rob, I said, I got one question for you, bruh. Are you done with it, or you want some more? He said, I want some more.
it's once you feel it, you just, you know, what I love about it is,
oh, wait, before you get into that, America, this is Rob from Money's Car Stereo. Man, let them know who you is, man. What brings you over here to Money's Car Stereo today, man?
Okay. My name is Tyrone. They call me T-Funk. And I, you know, kind of been riding a little bit, about 15 years. Sport bikes. I started out, you know, Pacific Northwest up in Fort Lewis area. Rode with a little club up there, Full Tilt Riders. I had some friends, you know, we used to hang out and you know, the traditional motorcycle set stuff.
Yeah.
So because I was military, moved around, so I went back to the East Coast. And I still loved it, found out, you know, what they doing over there with it, got into it with them. And then eventually we migrated on over to the Harley. You know, a lot of guys move on over there to get a little older.
Started from an old Gixxer, old Gixxer 750, the old one, GSXR version. You graduated.
Wing 1100. He used to ride them like that old 1100.
Yeah.
I used to watch the Rough Rider stuff. That was my whole sport bike stuff.
Yeah.
But the Harleys just turned into something different for me. And I saw it was a whole different lifestyle. You know, and you didn't really see a whole lot of intermingling between sport bikes and what they was doing over with the Harley. So it was intriguing. So once you get on that side, you start to see different things, how people move, you know, why, you know, people wear boots and different types of things, and you know.
Well, being that you started your riding on the Northwest area, and then you went back east with it. Is there any difference between the North and the East? How they get down?
It is. It's how the ride is set up, so to speak. And sometimes you almost can't articulate it, but you can tell the guys that's been over on this side versus started or grew up with it on the other side. And it's very intriguing to watch it, and when you start to meet different people. So I understand it because I came from over here. But when I go over back to the East Coast, it's a little different vibe. You know, and they bring different people in for different reasons. But I found that, you know, pretty much the foundation for everything is the ride. So you can always go back to that part of it. Whether you like because now what I'm into is music on the bikes.
Yeah.
So whether you like music on the bikes, whether you like to customize them and put big wheels on them, or paint, or just do motor work, or bring them to shows, the ride really kind of gives you that whole underlining piece of it.
Because we all have that in common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I appreciate about it. So now, what I do don't always work for a ride. So I have to steal a ride. You know, and people, you would understand it, you would appreciate it. So here I am, 3,000 miles from home on the whole other coast, but I had to steal a ride. Well, how do you steal a ride when you just came 3,000 miles? Well, you know, there's a shop locally that does custom motorcycles. And so I just love being around the environment. Whether you're doing big wheels, little wheels, riding ground pound or whatever, I just want to be part of it. And I find myself, you know, not having an opinion all the time. I would just find whatever I love about these little pieces and you know, migrate to that. So I see that in other people. I see that in, you know, Big Money Rob, man. And I watch the videos, and this is like, that's it right there. You can't really put a word or a term on it, but you see it, you feel it. It is tangible. You know? And so I want to be around those types of people. I want to be associated with those types of people.
I kind of call it living out loud. I'm gonna let you see what I see.
I hear that. I listen to that.
Let you see that.
I feel that. You know?
Me watching other people like Snowman, Big Sale,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And other people I watch from Big Punchy. I've been watching the whole circumference of what I can see on the internet and what I see in person.
Yeah.
And if you back in the days when the videos was out, you could play it over and over and over again and be in your den playing.
Yeah.
And you feel like you know that person. You,
right.
you walk up
exactly
hey man, what you doing?
Yeah,
Man?
He's like, hold on, bro.
Hold on,
that. Right.
And then you throw some things out, and he see you've been watching him or know of him. Then you reply back to people like, hey man, hold on, I don't know you, player.
Right.
You know.
Right. And I understand it over on this side, because this way different people like, hold on, I don't know you, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what's your intentions? You know.
Yeah. What you trying to do? You trying to pull up? What's up?
Yeah.
And I get that. So because I came from, you know, I kind of grew up on this side. I can say I came from, but I grew up motorcycling and you know that environment from over here. So when I go over there, I notice and recognize it. And you see people that do these great things. I have a guy I used to ride with the club with, and I call him my brother, K Solo, and he does a lot of just I would call that extreme riding. He literally lives on his scooter. Whoa. And you never know where he's at. So he's on this coast, he's on that coast. You might see him in Anchorage or you know, anywhere. And so I look at him and get inspired by him. And he inspired. He does some of these runs, and you know, you guys do it, and it's epic. But there's something else when a guy just always does 100 grand a year or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's motor epic.
That's like you know, getting a new bike and it's like a 19.
Yeah.
I rolled the wheels off of this one. You know, it's a shame I got to get new tires every month. Good God, dude, what are you doing? Yeah. And I'm not talking about burnouts. That's totally different.
That's straight ground pounding.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So all of this stuff is exciting to me. It gives me a new outlook. I'm 48. You know, so-called retired. You know, I'm not retired, but I still got a lifestyle. So I want to do stuff to earn money. But I see so many things that could be added to what we're doing. You know, and so I would try to see, well, what if we did this, or how do we mix this together? How do we go over here and go in there? And you'll see me like all over the place. You can't really like pin. And if you go back and see you'll be like, who is this guy that came to my house?
So do you have an Instagram page and stuff?
Yeah.
Let people know, man.
So function with 2 N's on it. So FUNKTIONN. You know, and then some people get that mixed up, like Function. But it's function like, you know, I'm out here trying to function. That's all I'm doing really. You know, and at the same time with this music, it's got a function to me. You know, so you got to be able to ride it, and you got to get that function of that music, get that feel good. So I got one of your flash drives, and I just love it because it's got all the good stuff on there. You know, I'm a music guy, so I still have Apple, Spotify, because that's what I do. You know, share playlists and go to this competition. And there are certain songs that do certain things, but that thing I'll put in the truck, and I ride in the truck. I put it on the bike. You know, and guys will always try to, hey man, let me get one of them. Nah, you know, I can send you somewhere to get it.
I'll be with you in a second, man. And so you just told me about this new Harley you just got. They called it Adventure.
Yeah, it's a Harley Davidson 2021 Pan America. It's their first adventure bike. So I'm gonna give you a little something on that because they took the old V-Rod motor and gave it 150 horsepower and an extra gear. So people used to trip off the V-Rod because it was 5-speed, but it felt like it needed an overdrive. Yeah. They did that on this water cooled, and this shows got a chain on it. So I tell people, man, don't get fooled because it's got a little something. And it might be out of reach for a lot of people.
Well, maybe I would say out of reach, not their style.
Not just they style. This thing is fast. It's governed at 135.
Oh shit.
150 horsepower. And that's before you do mods.
Oh.
So it's some guys now doing rolling burnouts on it, wheelies. I saw those videos. So I'm like, what if it's a purpose bike that you can actually ride and swing? It's very light. It's a O-link steering damper, Brembo brakes, front and rear, traction control. It's a geek bike. Screen on it, you can see all your codes, everything. Just to let you know if it's got a USB-C, that'll let you know this is pretty new.
Yeah, USB-C new stuff. I didn't know about that till you just brought it up. I was like, I ain't got no charger for that. He's like,
grips, and that's a whole nother show. We probably talk about that offline. But San Francisco is something I'm going to have to talk to you about what's going on up there. That is mind-baffling.
Well, I've seen when I do venture up into the city, they on some Street Fighter style bike, which is like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of venture bikes up there. BMWs, your Kawasaki's, that's pretty much the majority of what you see of it. Because the roads are horrible. This thing got 7 inches of travel. So I'm comfortable on and off urban, whatever. I used to ride in DC and potholes made me get progressive suspension on my, road glide. To be able to navigate. Because it felt like an old Buick. You know what I'm saying? That slosh and all that stuff with the big fat steering wheel. That's what the bike feels like. Oh no. Especially coming off the Booster. Rewind, I had my Booster in Germany. So on the Autobahn, everything is, predictable. You can like that nice suspension. Then you get on this thing that's like an old Buick. I said, oh no, 80 miles an hour.
You ridden on the Autobahn, what's the top speed you put on that?
Yes, sir. I had my Booster wide open. And
as long as you can hold on, huh?
Yeah, that's what they do over there. That's what the Autobahn is. It's purpose built for that.
Yeah, for high speed.
Yeah, and you'll get guys to come pass you up. While you doing all of that, so hey, I'm on the boost. Yeah, you'll get there quick, but there's some guys that's running 200 miles an hour over there.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had some friends that had a few M cars, so I would go to the Nürburgring. That's where they test the new cars to get the lap times and if it's worth anything. This just pretty much this track is set up to do all that. Yeah. So that's my background. That's my where I come from and.
So you was telling me, well, okay, that's your background. So what brought you here then?
Oh yeah, I didn't get to that. So it's a shop. My man Corey Souza, he's a custom bike builder, and they're going on this ride for bullies, and we're riding from San Francisco area to Sturgis.
Okay.
6-7 days of that. Each day you run 200 to 400 miles and stop. Party, do whatever you do, and these guys bring custom bikes out here to do that.
200 to 400 miles? That ain't no miles.
A day?
That ain't no far. Ain't that
but
far.
You gotta figure out what bikes they're
Oh, okay. If you riding bikes are highly modified.
Yes, and the trailers come with it.
Okay. Okay.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I ain't tripping. It ain't everybody's cup of tea. But the guys that are doing it, they get some enjoyment out of it, and it's different. And you get an appreciation for the little stuff. But me, I get it because it's like. I got my transporter hat on at this point. So I got my F-250, 8.5, about 24-inch foot trailer. Yeah. They put the bikes in there. We brought them from, Florida to here.
Okay.
We did that in 35 hours. We got to, what's the name of this party? Just over the border of Cali, Rocky 40, I believe it is. A little desert town seemed like. But anyway, 35 hours we did that, like 2,300 miles. And that was just to get the bikes over here. We got here, we've been here a few days, and tomorrow morning we take off on that little ride. And I'm just having the trailer, taking a few bikes. I put my bike on the truck. I put that Americana bike lift. One comes off the
like Big Cell has one, yeah.
Yes, sir, absolutely. And he's in Atlanta, killing it. I was like, man, I need to charge money like that.
Yeah.
But he got his system going, with AAA and all of that. Yeah. So it makes sense. It makes sense. And but I use it for me personally when I do bike install because I'm an installer too. But I like to use some of that competition we spoke about a little bit earlier, to learn and you know, see what's out there.
I've been exposed to a little bit of that because over here it's not as serious as it is over there.
Yeah.
We are in 6x9 land still over here.
Yeah.
You know, on the other side of the country, they're in
Everything.
woofers. They're into everything.
Yeah.
And so when people see what I've done on my bike now, they like, ooh, but you know,
It's next level.
It's next level.
Yeah.
And I got that from down south.
Yeah.
I went and talked to Corey at
Exclusive Sound.
Exclusive
Yeah.
Sound. I mean, not Corey, Chris.
Chris.
And I was like, he said, Rob, come check it out. I was like, what you mean? He said, you here? I said, yeah, I'm here. Come check it out. I went over his house. I heard it. Or so I say his shop. And the words out of my mouth was, sell me all that. I need all that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, I'm gonna tell you about a little bit about that. That feeling that you had before you said you wanted it, it gets big.
Yeah,
it's huge.
I've heard some other stuff that's
huge.
That's eclipsing mine. I'm like, and I was talking to another guy. Hey man, why don't you send me a picture of that, man? I already know how it's held in there.
Yeah.
I need the behind the scene numbers of what's playing it.
Yeah.
And it was just 210s, some Beamers,
yeah,
and some
10IXs. Yes sir.
And some it was the Ground Zeros.
Yellow Basket.
Yellow Basket. And I was like, man.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. It's gonna segue to I got almost 10,000 followers on my Beats, Bags, and Bass page. That's my page where I really like to introduce people who are, whether you're a novice or you're into it a little bit, to show you, in my opinion, what right looks like.
Yeah,
because there's no school for this, and the guys that are really doing it don't want to show their hand.
I've noticed that.
So
I've had to evolve over the years from the trailer plug to where I'm at now. And
Dutch connectors, whatever, you know, that's what Harley uses. So that's what I try to use to incorporate, and they work. They're reliable, you know. And I'm not trying to plug them. I probably should if I get some affiliate marketing going on. I will get there, but talking shop. Sometimes I throw a little bit, but I like to throw competition stuff in it, like who wins. You put a face to some of these guys that are doing some of this stuff, and you'll notice some of these guys are average people, but they got it done in the shop. Where's this shop at? What is this shop at? How is this shop doing it like that? Yeah. Where are they getting their running up and down the street like a good drag bike? You know, has a place he tested.
He tested it. Yeah.
Where do you go bike night to you get it in and run against other people? Because it ain't just the big motor sometimes. And I kind of use that analogy.
Well, sometimes in music, it's the song you playing.
It's a whole bunch of factors.
You know,
because I've seen it.
It's how your whole setup.
I've seen bikes that play musically, and now it's creating terms now. Now a guy can beat you a musical bike with an impact song. So you gotta, how do you set your bike up to do everything?
Well, I've listened to some of these guys say, what is they playing? Stuff you don't recognize, but it's also just playing.
It's in the circuit though. Yeah.
It's playing what the bike can do.
Yeah.
A different vibe. Like I try to tune myself sort of play damn near everything.
Yeah, full spectrum.
Full spectrum, yeah.
As it was produced by the guy who engineered it.
Yeah.
So when you understand that concept, you understand how important signal is. So now I can use DSPs. I can go without DSPs, and there are learning curves, big time. Because guys that did it in cars sometimes, guys that do it in cars sometimes, they seem to think that they have the answer already. But once they realize what's going on, they're just as lost as the guys who don't know anything about audio. So I have to explain it to them. You know, imagine the guy that's still grounding to the frame of the motorcycle. Do you ground to the frame?
No, I'm on the
You can't, right? Because you're not gonna get that full.
You own powder coat and everything else. You own to it. Yeah.
And it's not a good ground like a car. A car was designed around having a frame, and some of these new cars is fiberglass and composite and all that stuff, so it ain't a ground traditionally like an old Buick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you understand that, I said there's a lot of those for car audio guys that they don't get. You know, I have to go into details now between oxygen-free wire versus CCA.
I'm starting to learn more about that. I've been watching Carlos.
So where do we think that Carlos Ramirez? He just did a class for Ricky Will SOS in Maryland last weekend. You know, I think I would like to be able to do stuff like this. Say I come over and say, hey, look, man, let me show you what the best some of these practices are. And you got guys, shop guys, not these guys that have the bike set up like that, because they won't get it. They don't know enough to get a real good picture of what's going on. you would, because I can say you got a history of doing it. I'm just bringing you up to what we're doing best right away.